The U.S. is taking preemptive measures to protect Americans in the Middle East after learning that Israel is ready to launch an operation into Iran. Iran has warned such an attack could lead to possible retaliation on U.S. bases in neighboring Iraq and other countries. Today, the State Department ordered U.S. government workers in Israel to restrict their travel around the country. Family members of U.S. military personnel across the Middle East were also authorized to evacuate. CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd spoke about the threat of retaliation earlier today.
Iran is the largest state sponsor of terror in the world, and Iran has proxies throughout the Middle East and, frankly, throughout the world. So one ripple effect if Israel does strike Iran is that Iran could activate its proxies in the Middle East and around the world against U.S. and Israeli targets.
And CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang joins us now for more on this. Weijia, there is significant intelligence sharing between the U.S. and Israel. So what is the White House saying about these reports that Israel may launch an attack and the State Department's warning that we just talked about to some Americans in the Middle East?
Well, Nancy, just a short time ago, President Trump was explicitly asked about this and whether he believed that an Israeli attack on Iran was imminent. And he said he did not want to use the word imminent, but then he added, it looks like something that could very well happen. But he went on to say that he hopes it does not happen as long as there is a chance that the U.S. could broker a new nuclear agreement with Iran. And he also expressed optimism that that could happen. But the president was also directly asked what Israel has told him about a possible attack. And here's what he said.
They didn't tell me anything, but I said, look, there's a chance of massive conflict. We have a lot of American people in this area. And I said, we got to tell them to get out because something could happen soon. And I don't want to be the one that didn't give any warning and missiles are flying into their buildings.
And the president reiterated that while he is optimistic there could still be a deal with Iran, that no matter what, there cannot be a nuclear weapon. And so we don't know what the terms are that are being negotiated, but we do know that his trusted advisor and Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff will be having another round of talks to try to get that agreement across the finish line, Nancy.
And Weijia, the president is also launching a $5 million Trump card for permanent U.S. residency. What do you know about that?
Well, he initially called this the gold card, but you're right, he's now calling it the Trump card, and he's teasing that it is coming soon, and that it basically bypasses the traditional protocols that are used to gain citizenship in this country. Instead, you can hand over $5 million. So right now, we're still waiting on many of the details, such as how all this would work logistically, what the application process would be like, and where all that money would go. But he says that it is coming and that he believes it could raise, more than $1 trillion, Nancy, although we don't know exactly how, and we don't know the legality of this. But you can see on your screen there, if you go to the website, you see an image of the card that he says you can purchase for $5 million.
Certainly eye-catching. Weijia Jiang, thank you very much.